In this video, I'm going to show you how to create custom names for your family tree. Now, the font that we used is called NAL Hand. So if you literally type that into Google, you can find it free on defont.com. You want to download it and install it just as you would any other font. If you're not sure how to do that, you can go to YouTube and there's a million videos that show you how to do that for Windows and Mac. Download it, install it, and if you are running Design Space while you install it, you will need to restart your Design Space in order for it to be available. Okay, but the first thing we need to do is we need to go to Upload and click Upload Image, and then you can either browse and locate it, or what sometimes I like to do is just drag and drop it. Okay, so inside of your Family Tree Shadow Box folder, you'll find the SVG folder. So you're going to open that up, and inside that folder is an extras folder. Now we've included a heart, a cat head, and a bone. If you have a dog, you can do the bone. If you have a cat, you can do the cat. Heart is what we're intending to use for the people. Okay, so we're going to open up heart, and there's a gold foil. There's a gold foil layer as well as a white layer. We're going to need to import both of them. So I'm going to drag and drop the foil layer. So there's the foil layer. We'll hit upload. And then we're going to hit upload again, upload image, and I'm going to drag and drop the white layer and hit upload. Okay, so I have my white layer and my gold layer. I'm going to add those to the canvas. Now you can, let's say you have a smaller family and you want to resize this and make it bigger. You can resize these as big or small as you'd like. Now the white layer is the layer that we're going to write on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my text tool, and down here you can see that I already have NAL Hand selected. But since this will be your first time doing it, you're going to click on System and then type in NAL and let it do its search. And here it is, NAL Hand. Of course, again, you can use whatever font you want. So I've selected the font that we're using here, NAL Hand. And I'm going to start by typing in the first name of the first person. So I'm going to write Carol. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and obviously we need to make it fit within the confines of the heart. Okay, so there we have it. I think that's a good size. Now what you can do is you can drag a box around the heart and the text, and then go under Align, and let's align it horizontally. So that'll make sure that it's centered. Now to me, it looks a little off, so I can still go in and just with my arrows, nudge it to where I think it looks centered. That thing's supposed to make it centered, but it's not quite. Okay, so that looks good to me. Now before I do anything else, since I'm going to make a bunch of names, now that I already have this sort of figured out, I'm going to select this, both the heart and the writing, and I'm going to right click and hit copy, and I'm going to right click again and hit paste. So now I have two Carols, but what I can do now is double click on the name and just change the name, and I can move that around. Get that nice and centered. That looks good. Okay, again, right click, copy, right click, paste, and then we'll put the next name in. Okay, take a look. That looks good. I can right click and paste again. Okay, we're going to keep doing this until we get all of the names that we want. Now this one I might have to shrink a little bit so it's not living on the edge. Okay, that looks nice. And then we'll paste again, because now we got to do some grandkids. Here's Peyton. That's my son. And that looks nice. We'll paste again. And then my stepkids. And I'm actually making this one for Liesel's mom. She's going to love it. So there's Gavin. We'll paste again, because we copied the original one. Okay, so all we're doing is pasting, well, we're pasting Mike, the second one we did. Okay, and then we'll do Gabby. And I'm going to bring that down a little bit. Whoops. Okay, let's take a look. That looks pretty good. I'll give that a nudge to the left. Okay, so we have Carol and Mike, mom and dad, the two daughters, and then Liesel's kids, and her sister just had her first child, and her name is Genevieve, which is a longer one. So it's Genevieve. Now that's obviously way too long, so we're going to need to shrink that down a little bit so that it fits. And that's still too big. Okay, let's go a little bit smaller. And I think that looks good. Now, additionally, if you have a pet, we can go in and we'll go back out of the heart folder and let's go into the bone folder and let's drag and drop the bone. So we'll upload the bone, the gold part of the bone, and then we'll upload the white part of the bone and hit upload on that. Okay, so let's bring in the dog bone. Okay, and now I want to make this a little bit bigger, so I want to make sure that both of these are selected while I increase the size. That way that gold layer resizes and increases in size according to how much I'm increasing the white one as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to click on Genevieve, and I'm going to right click and copy, and then paste, so that I just get the wording. Then I can double click and type Angel instead. And then we'll move that over here. Let me zoom in a little bit so that I know I have it. And don't worry about those little nodes there. Those are just sizing nodes. Your cutting software will eventually ignore those. I'm not concerned about them. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, now one more thing that we need to do before we print this out is we make these a slight blue just because you need to be able to see them. We're going to go in here and just change the color to white so it doesn't print that color. We don't want it to print that color. We're just going to make them all white. So just click on the hearts and change the color to white. Okay, make them all white. And honestly, it's such a light blue that even if you were to print it, I don't know that it would show up too much. It would though, it will. Okay, so I'm actually printing this on, and I found that it worked. I'm printing it on some patterned paper that looks like wood to give it an even cooler look. Okay, so you're going to highlight, you're going to drag a box around the word and the heart to select both of them, and then go over here and click flatten. We're going to repeat that process for each individual name. Okay, I'm going to continue doing that until these are all flattened. Now I did not resize the size of the heart. I only resized the bone. Okay, and we'll flatten the bone. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 names, and we have only one of these. So we can copy and paste this. Copy and then paste. We're going to paste this 8 times. So there's 8 hearts now. We need 1 bone. And these are all going to cut on gold. These are going to be print to cut. So let's go ahead and hit make. And now you can see it's got them all laid out here. You don't see the heart because they're white. Make sure you change your material size to whatever it needs to be. In my case, it's going to be 8.5 by 11. Do not set anything to mirror. Hit continue. Okay. Make sure your maker's connected or whatever machine you're using. And then we're going to send it to printer. Do not add bleed. And I always like to use the system dialog. So when I hit print, and for me on a Mac, for whatever reason, it shows up behind, which I don't like, but it took me a while to figure that out. I'm printing it in color, and change your media quality type to whatever it is you're printing it on, and then hit print, and then follow the rest of the process for your print and cut, and it'll cut these names out on your paper in the shape of a heart.